Goose, bring it down, bring the music down. What's up, everybody? This is Francisco here for Sports Goofs number 142, joined by my good buddies Andrew and Charles. I've got VR Baseball 99, a very obscure PlayStation 1 era, or PlayStation 1 baseball game with music that is definitely not licensed, but very much sounds like real music from the era. Like it's different enough where you're like, does that wait, mate? Ooh, okay, all right. They're changing the lyrics a bit. All right, I see how they're doing it. Okay, and the melody's just slightly different. It's pretty interesting. It's actually pretty fun. But yeah. So yeah, we're here. So welcome everybody, and yeah, it's I guess sports did happen. And Andrew, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, Charles, what's up?
Nothing much. I'm here with Hyrule Warriors, getting it going. Gonna
Alright.
try to, mince out for like 2 hours and see how much I get into it because I was on Persona 5 for a bit. So either or, I think it's a good show game, even though Persona 5 has more talky.
Yeah,
But also a lot of it you could just F around and, not have to go from there. That one has 19 hours. So we're going to take a break and do some Hyrule Warriors because you and I are going to start a new adventure starting this week.
yep. We're Death Stranding. Let's be on the lookout for that. And Andrew's already back, ready to try and slay the beast, right, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Okay, sports. Basketball's over, so there's nothing to be done.
Not at all.
Yeah,
It's just done.
So
It was boring.
We're gonna focus on the Orlando Magic, Andrew. From now on, they got the number one pick. We'll just speculate and see how they're gonna do. Like, who are they gonna choose? Because that's really the most important thing out here right now.
Well, I've got to ask you, is there a consensus number one pick? I mean, like I said, I don't
the
really
white guy
follow
from Gonzaga.
basketball that much. The last kind of obvious one that I knew of was Mr. Can't play any more than a quarter of a season, Zion Williamson.
So there's a few of them, but and I hate to say it to minimize it just to be this, but I'm going to. There's the white guy from Gonzaga, but there's other ones I know.
You know what?
name-wise.
Let's just go here. Let's just go. Let's talk about this and not talk about anything else because this is truly the most important thing. So I'm gonna go on to I don't know what this is, rookie scale. And they got their consensus big board, so we're just going to show that off. Nothing
Chet
is happening.
Holmgren.
Playoffs are over, everybody. So,
We don't care. It's all rigged anyway. You want to give a dinosaur an MVP for the second season. You want to, just do weird things. We don't care. It's Chet Holmgren is who I'm making reference
yeah,
of.
so they've got their algorithm all up in here. And so far, they've got, right now, they've got Jabari Smith Jr. from Auburn at number one, followed by Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga at number two. And then Paolo Banchero, which was the guy that got mistaken for Patrick Mahomes over at the F1 Miami Grand Prix. Then he's number so Andrew, you guys could draft discount Patrick Mahomes if you wanted
Okay.
to. That could actually work out for you guys.
He wouldn't even be discount Patrick Mahomes. You know what he would be? He would be the rallies to the Chiefs checkers.
Okay. And yeah, so that's pretty much the look so far. Those are the top three consensus draft picks. And yeah, nothing happened in basketball other than what we're talking about there. John Butler Jr. is here for Florida State. We are number 69. Very nice. There's another Butler, my husband, who's done a great job and was supported by nobody else. So
At all.
no, and
I sent a message over to our good friend Doug, and all I said was, I feel bad for Jimmy.
You said
Yeah.
the same thing to us, too.
Oh, did I?
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
As we're grieving in different ways. I was like 5 drinks into the Hard Rock
Charles,
when everything was happening.
Charles, I don't know where Kyle Lowry's from, but if he is American,
Compton, baby.
If he is American, we're gonna go on here. We're gonna do this.
Fine. You know what? Give me what I want, please.
I openly, and I'm an immigration attorney, I feel like we could find a way to deport him back to Canada. I feel like that just might, like, the Constitution, yeah, 13th Amendment, sure, but I feel like we could,
$120 million in 3 years just for not being the guy. He does this. Know what? We can talk about this. We can talk about this. This is going to be a complaining segment.
The deportation of Kyle Lowry is sponsored by Splitgate. Okay, guys, I'm just going to let you know that right now. Mm-hmm. So that's who's sponsoring the deportation of Kyle Lowry.
Have you ever seen a ball handler annoy you so much by literally going from the base? He'll dribble, Andrew, to give you some insight, from the 3 to the baseline, around under the basket, and then try to either toss it to somebody who's not open or make a fadeaway shot. That's what I felt and I saw multiple times in the non-existent games that we don't talk about. And I don't know if Boston was better than us per se, because I think the injury finally caught up to us. With no hero, we had big problems because Gabe Vincent was exactly who we expected to be. Max Strusser. These are guys who are rotational guys, and that's fine. And Bam is the one that concerns me because we're kind of married to that a little bit.
Well, he needs to take the summer to build up an offensive game. So, or at least I don't know. He needs to figure out.
He has an offensive
He does.
game. What he needs to do is take the summer to realize that he's got to be the number 2, not Kyle. And I think that's what really hurt this entire playoffs, because it was how it went was reliability was Jimmy, Hero, Bam.
Yep.
And then
Sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but I have some breaking news.
Is about Kyle Lowry being deported?
Oh, no. Well, actually, believe it or not, it does involve deportation in a way.
Oh boy, dear Lord!
Remember that asshole Novak Djokovic?
Yes.
Where I'm tying things in is he was deported from Australia.
Yeah.
But it's honestly a total coincidence that you brought that up. Lost in the French Open quarterfinal to Rafael Nadal.
Ooh.
So go fuck yourself, Djokovic.
Yeah.
We like Rafa.
Yeah, Rafa, he's friends with Mario, of course.
And they're playing at the French Open, which is the clay clay Masters.
That's Rafa's basically home court, basically.
But I will say, and I say this begrudgingly because I hate Djokovic completely, but speaking from a neutral standpoint, he actually did a pretty good job. He took Rafa to the end. They had a 4-hour match, which for people who don't follow tennis, that is freaking long. Usually you can get a match in about 3 hours or less. But it took all the way. It required all of the sets.
Dear Lord. Wow, I'm looking at it right, like the stats right here. Look at this. So, let's see. He had 3 aces, Nadal, and Djokovic had 5. And is Djokovic a Parasaurolophus as well? He's from Serbia, right?
No, but he's not that breed because he's not overly tall and big.
Yeah, but
if anything, he strikes me as just kind of like the little birdie raptors.
He's some sort of hadrosaur. Okay.
Yeah, but okay. So
for all you
dinosaur
nerds out there, you guys know what that means. There's different kinds of hadrosaurs, Charles.
All right,
he could
but what's the hairy bird one? Because he's a very hairy man.
Okay.
So we're going full insult. Like, I don't care.
So Nadal had a first serve percentage at 72%. Djokovic had a very nice 69%.
Nice.
Win percentage on first serve, 64 for Djokovic. Nadal at 65. Second serve, 69, very nice for Nadal. And 46 for Djokovic. And break points, 7 for 17 for Nadal, 4 for 12 for Djokovic. Tie breaks 1 by Nadal. And receiving points 160 for Nadal, 50 for Djokovic, and points 148 to 130, Nadal over Djokovic. And I'm so glad Mario Tennis exists because I would not know what any of this means if not for that entire
Tennis
series.
is fun. I'm just saying, tennis is fun.
I've dabbled in a little bit of tennis. In my best friend and roommate from Florida State played tennis, and we went out there. I mashed a few tennis balls over the wall, thinking they were home runs. So.
Are you the guy? But did you go all in and wear like the above like 4-inch shorts that they have?
No,
like,
of course not.
You know, this is Florida time, so if you did,
No.
everybody's seeing a testicle.
No, I did not. That was it. Yeah, but still,
I will say this, Francisco. Since you brought up Mario Tennis, I remember playing the first iteration of that when it came out.
Of course, yeah, on the N64.
On the N64.
I got that for my birthday.
You could play it on the
Switch.
The Switch, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Switch.
It wasn't my copy; it was a friend's, but still.
You could play the original, or you could play the new one, Aces,
which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then I think the best one is the GameCube one, but you know.
I will say to this day, the one thing that really got me like, was the different colors of the ball trail as it came off from each different type of swing.
Yeah, it helped visualize the type of ball that was coming towards you, whether it was a lob or a power shot or what have you. It's the brilliance of Mario Tennis. Really.
I mean, Wii Tennis is nice, but you got to give it to the GOAT right there.
Yeah.
I'd say that's arguably the greatest tennis game of all time.
It's up there. There's very few, and there's I think virtual tennis for Sega Dreamcast is one of the ones that are high up there for people. And I don't really play any of the current tennis games that are out there. I'm sure there's a few. I think there's like a couple series out there, but I don't know who plays them.
I just remember Andre Agassi's game on the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Where were we? Oh yeah. So yeah, that was the French Open. So yeah, go Nadal. Yeah.
Go Nadal.
Yeah, man.
And then we were deporting Kyle Lowry.
Oh yeah. So let's take a look at the stats from this series because we might as well.
Listen, this is Hater Nation, Holleration, and it's Dancery. So I gotta hate somewhere.
I'm basically doing a real MVP for my husband, Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah.
Because he, this is one of the few instances where I would say, much like the Conn Smythe Trophy being awarded to the Ducks goaltender in 2003,
J.S. Giguere.
Yeah, in 2003 where he lost, but he still got the playoff MVP. I feel like Jimmy Butler could have been awarded the Eastern Conference playoffs MVP.
I mean, Tatum was so good though.
I get it, I understand, but you could make the argument that you could award it to the losing player.
Here's the thing: I watch a majority, if not all, of the games, and there was hands in the face, and the guy was still sinking them in. And
yeah, I'm not going to hate on Tatum. I'm not.
I'll hate on Jaylen Brown. They're going to lose because of Jaylen Brown and Al Horford. Marcus Smart gets my respect though, but I always liked him as a player. But man, Jason Tatum, and there was just nothing we can do, and I knew we were going to lose anyway. It's whatever.
And I have a question for you guys. And I'm not saying this to rub salt in the wound because I have no dog in this fight. If anything,
neither of us expected to win, so I'd rather lose this than lose the finals. So this is fine by me.
Yeah, I understand. But, and again, if anything, I'm bummed that Miami lost because I feel more of a tie to the Heat than I do to the Magic, to be honest. Because I don't know any Magic fans. I just follow them because they're from Orlando.
Well, yeah.
I feel like it's my duty as an Orlandoan. But anyway, I didn't see the whole Game 7. I only watched like the final 5 minutes or so. So I want to ask your opinion. And again, I'm not saying this to rub salt in the wound. I'm just genuinely curious. Thoughts on Jimmy's three-pointer there with like 20 seconds left?
I thought it was a mistake, but I can see his mindset and why he did it. Because he was the only player in this series. He's the only reason why they even got to that point. And I mean,
You put your ball in the best guy's hand.
yeah, he was in it, but he could have slowed the ball down. He could have waited for his guys to get back onto the other side of the court. They could have, I don't know if they had timeouts left. They could have taken a timeout, planned something out. I'm not sure. They could have tied the game and tried for to get into the overtime and see what would happen there. But I can see why he did it. I still think it's a mistake. And knowing Jimmy, he's gonna be like, shoot, but he's gonna come back and try again at some other time. I mean, look what happened in 2020. I mean, the same iconic image of him like hunched over on like that counter there, and just in exhaustion. You might as well have copy and pasted it to this series and be like, oh yep, that's the same thing, because that's what he did. This was he averaged, let's see, he led both teams in scoring, 25.6 points on average. And
had more assists than our damn point guard who we paid 100.
Well, Kyle Lowry had 4.2 on average, but Kyle Lowry was very non-existent. Bam had his rebounds, had his blocks, but even then he when you saw Bam assert himself during this playoffs, like you could see like, oh wow, there we go. That's how you're supposed to do it.
He gave too much leave to the point guards, and that's sometimes the problem. To give Andrew some insight, that's sometimes the problem with modern day basketball when you have a semi old school. Because I wouldn't say he's an old school power forward, but he's kind of like more 2008 to 2010. And where there's and I don't want Bam taking 3-point
Bam's
shots.
24 years old, so he's like that's also some other thing we got to realize. He's 24 years old, and he was
our problem is
very raw coming out of college.
Yeah, can we strike this when the iron's hot? That's the issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, the window is with Jimmy is not very wide open right now.
Do we want Donovan Mitchell?
Is
he the secret to success? I feel like he would be the secret to success if Jimmy just retired, because it's a very similar style of play, minus the defense. And I know people are about to say witchcraft, but you name me guys in the draft that play like Jimmy Butler does, because Jimmy Butler was a project. Remember, he was like a second-round pick in Chicago.
Yeah, he took a bit to get in his own with the Bulls.
Yeah. So, and do you pay Hero too? This is hard. This is what happens when you overpay people, because we paid
there's a
Bam
few
money.
Guys. Duncan got paid a little bit,
Yeah.
So
I don't disagree with just sitting the guy, considering the fact that the ends justify the means mentality. Look how far it took us, and let's we're gonna defend our boys here. And Andrew, to answer your question, I was about 5 margaritas in at the Hard Rock, so. Let's just say I was just already in a different position of like, all right, we're lost. That's fine. I'm just going to enjoy these tasty drinks and gamble. You get happy when you're your team, because the one thing to bring it all back is we did not lose to like a 5 or 6 or a 4 seed. We are not the Phoenix Suns, because we're not frauds. We lost to the 2nd seed, who was only a game behind us. So it's not like we lost to trash, and it's not like we lost by 40 points in a Game 7 elimination. Felt like it sometimes, but it's just fine. You put your. I think if you say player versus design play on the last shot of the game, 8 out of 10 times I'll say you give it to your best player, because your best player tends to have that versatility in basketball to shoot the 3, shoot the 2, or just kind of drive and kind of get fouls. Ray Allen, right? Ray Allen's a design play. This one's a different situation than what year was that, Francisco? 2015?
Which one?
The Ray Allen shot.
Oh, that was 2013.
2013. I don't know. My years are off. There's design plays that you do it, because we also don't have the guys that would make me feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable with Max Struss or Kyle Lowry or Gabe Vincent or pass out to anybody else. And Bam can't really shoot threes. The guy's probably like a 30% shooter, so I'll give it to Jimmy.
Yeah, but even then, he didn't have to shoot a 3. He just needed to tie the game. But even then, you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave time on the clock for Boston to get one more shot either.
And you're not stopping anybody. And here's the thing too. At that point, Jimmy's game is so predictable, where he would have. You already know what he would have done. He would try to drive to the basket and draw the foul. And no one was going to foul him. And if that was a strategy, fine. But then you go, here's the thing too. Boston, for anybody who's watched the sport, them this season, this playoffs, Boston's an excellent defensive team. It was really us playing us, if you look at it. And they have ways of preventing. You don't get as good as you are by luck. And just accept it. And I'm okay with it because it's one of those things, yeah, I hate it. But here's the thing too. Even Jimmy misses because he was not good in the beginning of this series, if you remember. And then he did. So it's just whatever, man. It's life. Que sera, sera. And it just didn't work on our end.
Yeah.
But now what unfortunately we have to deal with is people who were saying, what I hate is people were talking trash about Boston in the beginning season, myself included, and they didn't want to eat that humble pie when even Udoka, who I don't know how he didn't get Coach of the Year, was able to just kind of revitalize everything and get them to play presumably a 2 seed. If they had played
got
anybody
them to
else,
a point where and look, Brad Stevens is GM and all that stuff right now.
Humble pie time.
Yeah.
I
mean, they found like it looked like things were going to be like, oh, can they even win with this core? All this other stuff. Brad Stevens steps down from coaching. He's in the front office now, and then
you go back for Al Horford.
Al Horford's back. Old ass Al Horford. You guys doing this again? And then lo and behold, he's grabbing rebounds. He's doing what he needs to do. With his second stint in Boston. It's like, okay, all right, Boston. Yeah, they beat us out. I mean,
good for you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to play Golden State though because we lose that.
No,
we can't deal with fast hop offense that everybody can shoot.
Once it was Golden State, it was just like, you know what?
I
honestly didn't believe we could beat them, even if we made. I wanted the Eastern Conference Championship, but don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't have believed that we would have been able to beat them. I'm like, okay, that's probably like
Phoenix.
That's probably like Golden State in 5. I would have called it.
I would have preferred Phoenix. Well, also, here's the thing, too. This goes back to something we've been kind of advocating for a while. The seasons are still too long. And we went through a majority of the season moderately healthy. And the chickens came home to roost because all you can think about, Andrew, is the what ifs. What if Tyler Hero wasn't injured? What if Kyle Lowry, actually wasn't rushed?
Yeah.
Because I still do feel, and I know this is going to sound really petty, but if we did not rush Lowry in those second round games, it could have saved some health to other guys because that was the problem. When we put Lowry back in, that's when you got like the ass play and everything like that, and not the fun kind of ass play. It's just no bueno. But how do you fix it? Because yes, on one side of the argument is anybody can get injured and you can't always predict it, and I get that too. But it's one of those things of, man, if I could just shave off 20 games, that'd be good, because the only other alternative I can give you would be the first round of the playoffs do not need to be a best of 7. They could be a best of 5. And you'd be surprised how less injuries in theory would occur. But TNT has everything by the balls, so meh.
Yeah. Well, that was basically the. I mean, that's.
Are we gonna watch the finals? I really have no inclination. I never really watch any playoff starts in the first 2 games, to be honest with you, if I can help it, because nothing gets changed. You don't get
I would only watch if Boston wins game 1, because then I'd be like, oh, okay.
You're intrigued, yeah.
Then it's like, oh, okay, this might be a series, But if it's basically Golden State winning, and if they win big time, it's like, yeah, this is not even going to be a series.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether they're in San Francisco or Boston.
If Golden State wins it, presumably, this is the pantheon for Steve Kerr. This puts him in the
he's there.
Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, not Red Auerbach, obviously, or Bill Russell, but really up there because yes, he still has some of his core guys, but these guys that have been around have not been around. Yeah, for a while. You're talking about Kelly Oubre and all this stuff.
I think I read somewhere that the Warriors have been to 6 out of the 8 last final.
They're your New England Patriots.
This is their. I mean, they're like the Chicago Bulls of the '90s right now. Mm-hmm. They really are. We're amazing, in it right now.
Because you can't. Here's the thing, Andrew. I don't detest this team. People who detest this team are just people who are just unhappy that they're always there, and they
or they just hate Draymond or something,
Hate them all you want, but watch that money pile up, right?
Yeah.
It's just wild to me how good they are, and it's really the same system. But now you're talking about with Andrew Wiggins, you're talking about some of these guys like Joe Kamunga. I don't know who their centers are. They're just basically working with Draymond to be kind of like this all-around guy for the bigs. And he's not really the biggest guy; he's just a damn good defender. and I'm just supportive of this because remember, they did everything right. They drafted right.
Yeah.
They draft everything right. And you can say, oh, we got the Kevin Durant. I'm like, yeah, but everybody's always kind of missing that one free agent. So there be that.
And look what happened when KD leaves them.
Yeah, well, this also, I'm going to say this right now because I get validation, so it makes me happy. I know all you guys, when I go out there and I say, oh, you know, hokey championship, hokey win, I know it annoys people when I say that, but where Golden State has gotten to the point right now validates my feelings about the Raptors title being a fluke title. 100%. I will not relent on that because everybody got injured. Because now that they're fully healthy, it's like, all right, they still look unstoppable. It makes me feel good. I like being right.
And they took a couple years just to recover, and now they're here. They're back. Like, and I think I was like, ooh, once they're healthy again, it's like they haven't left. It was that core of Draymond, Steph, and Clay, and now they added Wiggins to it. So, which is like it's not replacing Kevin Durant, but it's a new dynamic.
Yeah, well, they also have better quality players because it's Jordan Poole that you need to be like, oh crap. Yeah. Because even though he's kind of too hot for himself sometimes, and he'll just like brick shot it, that confidence is something that you kind of want with certain players. And I'm about them winning. You know, plain and simple. I'd be more than happy because I actually think it's good for the NBA. I know people say, oh, no, we want diversity. I'm like, no, you want the best staying the best. The best is not supposed to be best anymore once they break up. That's what people need to understand. And that's always how I felt about NBA teams. The reason why you have consistency, it encourages ownership to and other leagues to keep the same guys. Think on this. Curry, Green, Kerr, Clay. Same dudes that have been around there for about a decade now, and look what they yield. The mention of the trips to the finals and then the players. That's what's supposed to be incentives of keeping the core together. Spend more money to hopefully get the luxury tax up because some, you know, the TV rights are going to change in a couple of years again. So, you know, it gives the incentives. Like we're kind of doing that now to a degree, but we can't do it forever.
There's remember the NBA is only like a few people on a roster. It's only 15 guys, so it's not so much. There's not so much to change unless you're one of a team that's always in flux, like Orlando or Sacramento or something like that, where and very few teams can actually go change on the fly. I mean, the Miami Heat are kind of in. They're a little bit like that with the way but it's really the role players that they do that with.
Well, I'll tell you, you want to keep the core together. Look at example, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were a hair away from getting into it. And then you had the bad play-in, which I'm not a fan of. But with Mobley and Darius Garland and then the other guy and then Kevin Love still around, if you can keep that core together, that's how you help the small markets. I'm not saying sign every big free agent in the max thing. Actually, the max extension, even though it benefits the players, is the worst thing to happen about bringing consistent championships to the cities because there's been guys who are stuck to $200 million contracts. And then I almost said the Wolves, but I don't believe them. The damn it, what's the name of that team? I'm losing my mind right now. The Grizzlies. That's your other example too. Make it work. And that's all I got for the NBA. Darvin Ham's hired from the Lakers. Okay, like I said, this was not a big. I think I told you this was not a big season of like people who you can get off the off kilter. I just find it funny that Mark Jackson cannot get a job. And I don't know what he does in that interview, but I feel like if he says, oh, yeah, I helped build the Golden State Warriors trend, that's probably the reason why they didn't get hired.
Yeah, probably. That's probably. Okay, so we're coming up to the half-hour mark here with the show. And let's see. Oh, I do want to do a Gottlieb's Goons because it was the only one that I saw, and I saw it today, guys. And I just want to highlight it because we're here, and I'm sure we got some real MVPs as well, given what's happened. So I do want a goon just to point it out, even though I understand the spirit as to why they did it, but the execution, it was gosh darn it. Let me just go to the Twitter. Let's go right now. So this will go out to the Dallas Mavericks. Somehow they were able to lose 5 games in the Western Conference final, apparently.
Gentleman sweep.
So they were able to lose 5 games. So let's see. Let's put the Mavs tweet. You don't want your your sports seem to be trending for a tweet that you put out. But yeah, the Dallas Mavericks posted a tweet. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. I'm sure they haven't taken it down. But I do want to highlight it right now. But essentially what they did, like, here we go. In collaboration with the Dallas Morning News, they decided to go silent on social media for 21 minutes to honor the victims of the Uvalde shooting. So that's what they did. And right now, and the numbers keep going up. They've got about 78 retweets, and this is not good. 1,847 quote tweets, and
that's one hell of a ratio right there.
And 709 likes, and some of the comments here. Some of the comments here are interesting. Let's see. Someone posted, guess the Yankees stepped in where you couldn't, because the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays, who are my real MVPs for this week, decided to do a lot more with their social media platforms, and they're not even in Texas. So, let's see. Somebody posted, how about donating some iteration of $21 or $2.01 per retweet or something? Who gives a fuck about going silent for 21 minutes? Let's see. Wow, multi-billion-dollar sports team went silent on socials for 21 minutes. Thank you for your bravery. And this one's I get the subject matter, but I mean, some of these tweets, school shootings are over. You guys did it. Thank you for your bravery. Very difficult to go 21 minutes with no Twitter. Lowest bar possible even for me. What an empty gesture. Your last tweet prior to this was 27 hours before. Let's see. Should have kept this one to yourselves, and just a bunch of stuff. And a lot of people are ratioing them, and I get the sentiment behind it, but yeah, bro, who greenlit this dumbass PR move? Like, some of these,
I mean, I'm gonna be honest.
It's what a cringy thing to boast about. I mean,
I've seen some pretty cringy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've seen a lot of cringy stuff just after Uvalde shooting, so keep that in mind.
I mean, I won't say this is the worst.
It's not the worst, obviously.
Cringy thing I've seen. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen FSU's football Twitter account digitally add a football glove onto Martin Luther King's arm.
What?
Doing the tomahawk chop and it was posted on Martin Luther King Day.
Oh boy!
Wow. Oof.
This just came out this weekend. I think it was. Hold on, let me look it up. I want to see which school it was.
So.
Where is it?
Oh god, this was funny. I drank a glass of water today in honor of all the victims of kidney disease.
Oh my god.
It's basically more just how I get the gesture, but it comes off as pretty shallow and empty. I get it. I understand. Like there might have been a lot of thought behind it and all this other stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, relative to everything else, this does, like, if you were gonna come out with something, it would have been something way more impactful, actual impactful stuff. You know what I mean? And the Mavericks, Mark Cuban.
I just saw that, Andrew.
And so yeah. Did you
So,
send? You want me
I
to
just
put
sent
it?
something.
You want me to put it up or not?
USC, University of Southern California,
I'll look
its
for it.
football Twitter, posted tweeted on, I want to say Monday, yesterday, because of Memorial Day. The caption is, "Today we remember and honor those that made the ultimate sacrifice to serve our country." And it shows a graphic. It says, "Remember and honor Memorial Day." It shows an American flag with some fighter jets and a USC football helmet. The problem, the fighter jets they used are Chinese, not American.
Of course. Of course. Oh boy.
I'm gonna send the picture of the Martin Luther King thing to you right now.
That's funny. Let me look for that. That Day Miles will be goons for that one too, because you're a university. I get it, it's football, but you're a university. You're a private university too.
Oh, Jesus
People are paying
Christ.
good money for that.
See, I know this is, if you make a sound clip
posted
of this,
this
I will be
on-
screwed.
They
Here we
posted
go.
this in 2019, mind you.
Here's the USC one. I posted it up on the video version. That's pretty funny. And hold on, let me look at the other one that you just sent. Oh no. Oh God, my alma mater.
That's like the equivalent they made,
Oh
MLK
my
Jordan
God,
Hughes
that
sign.
is funny. I can't. My bachelor's degree is from that place.
Well, they apparently think that MLK would be not MLK would be a Cane, so he's going to be a Seminoles fan. So let that sink in.
Oh my God.
Had an absolute field day with that when it came out.
Oh my God. There it is. It's I posted it up there. Oh my God.
And I think what makes it worse, I mean, if it wasn't
it's a bad
bad
Photoshop
enough,
job, by the way.
I'm not even talking about how bad the Photoshop is.
His arm is completely disproportionate.
Yes. I think what makes it worse is that, and I get it, Willie Taggart's thing, what's his name? Current head coach at Minnesota, his thing is row the boat. Or Scott Frost is rise and conquer. College football coaches have their mantra, no matter where they go. Willie Taggart's is do something, which we made a ton of fun of when he was head coach at South Florida. It's like, do something! So here it's Martin Luther King with do something. Like, the whole thing is just total chef's kiss.
It's really bad. I don't know who oh my God. Like,
I mean, I can tell you who greenlit it, but I won't say it because it gets everything political. But a white person obviously greenlit it. Yeah. I'm okay. That's how we'll get black prospects and recruits.
Like, this is okay. Oh man. So there's plenty of that was Gottlieb's goons, sure. All right, but let's get to some actual real MVPs from this, and we're gonna give this to both the New York Yankees. These are mine, the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
So
for once, Charles and I were able to come together in harmony when it comes to our teams.
So
and we beat them on the day we made the announcement, so it made it even feel better.
So the Yankees and the Rays decided, instead of tweeting about the game that they played on that day, they would take the time during the game to tweet about various statistics regarding gun violence in the United States. So that was their response to what happened down in Uvalde, and basically the atmosphere of gun control in general in the United States right now. And we'll see if it's enough for enough people to be fed up finally about it. But it caused them to do that, which was a much more effective use. And of course, everybody had the meme, what the replies look like in both Yankees and Rays tweets, and of course, it's the meme of the very conservative white folks with sunglasses on, and that's my polite way. People from Polk County, Florida. You know what? We're just gonna make Polk County the one county that we don't like.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
They're gonna be. I don't know what other shows make fun of certain towns or cities, but they're gonna be ours. They're gonna be like, every time we have something like bad mouth the place, you know, it's just not Polk County, Florida. I honestly, I'll look at our metrics and see what listens we get, because I can look at the specific cities that listen to us and see if we get any people from there.
I mean, I can tell you right now, the nickname for the county when you're driving through says All-American County, so I feel very validated in everything I've said insult-wise to it.
So yeah, the Yankees and the Rays did that. Of course, people had their opinions and stuff, but guess what? They did something. They did, like they followed the Florida State tweet. Do something. It's in a different way. It
cracks me up that people got annoyed by that because they don't want current controversies in their sports, but yet you're so quick to comment when a baseball or football player gets killed.
Yeah, but
drinking,
or wait for the, God forbid, the day that some lunatic unloads at a sporting event.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you guys will remember, a few years ago, God, probably at least 5 years ago at this point, if not more, someone got quote unquote shot at a St. Louis Cardinals game. When I say quote unquote, it's that someone shot a bullet, a 9mm, so handgun, into the air just randomly, and it arced over into the stadium and struck somebody.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a few weeks ago, there was a shooting outside of a watch party for, I think, the Edmonton Oilers. No one
That's
at
Canada.
the watch party was actually shot. It was nearby.
Okay.
But even still, it's getting closer. And then don't forget, what precipitated all of the clear bags at sporting events, extra security, was someone bombed a soccer stadium in France.
Yeah.
Like, it's bound to happen at some point.
Yeah.
That someone is going to bring a gun into a stadium.
Yeah, or they'll have the just walking in like Rambo with all the things, and who's going to stop them? Because the police are sure is... Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop right now. I'm gonna stop right now.
I was gonna say something because I realized this. No, because remember how I usually say certain people catch strays? We're not saying that on the show.
Yeah.
Not after this incident.
Yeah. So,
but damn.
Anyways,
violence.
So, anyways, I'm just saying there's a chance that could possibly happen.
Screw it, I'll say it. Someone messed up and didn't do their jobs.
Yeah. Well, a ton of people didn't do their.
You're being very nice there, Charles.
A ton of people didn't do their fucking jobs. A ton of people aren't doing their fucking jobs.
I've seen better protect and serve from a Duffy's waitress than I have from Uvalde law enforcement.
Here we go. This is an impromptu, serious episode so far. Anyways, but yeah, we've our chance, and we're gonna talk about it. So, but yeah, these are real MVPs. So Yankees and the Rays. So there you go. There we go.
You know who wouldn't support it? Alex Cora. I'm kidding.
Okay,
I'm
all
not-
right, yeah.
I won't bring in that Alex
All right.
Cora hate
Yeah,
here.
not here.
But
Okay.
he's not a babe like Babe Kepler.
Well, we can keep going with the. Let's see. So we're at 45 minutes now. We can turn on a dime. The show, honestly, we do turn on a dime, and we can go into the handsomest manager or coaches in the NFL.
Let's do it. We had something sad, so there's nothing funnier than making Andrew uncomfortable.
Now, for once, Charles, I am totally okay with it.
Let's do it. So let's start with the NFC first. So let me look for current NFL head coaches. I'm sure there's all the coaches have been hired, right? There's all the firings have been
there's
filled.
no vacancies.
So there's no vacancies right now. So let's see. I hope they split them off into AFC and NFC. If not, I'll look for them myself. So hold on. Let me get it on my phone and then I'll post the stuff here. So 1 second. So current NFL head coaches. So I'll get it right there.
I'm just going to say right away, Bill Belichick gets extra points for me because of his dog.
Yeah. So
Bill Belichick pulls, man.
And of course the NFL handsomest head coaches is brought to you by Splitgate, guys. You can play it for free right now. Okay.
Lickety split. Okay, I'm going home now. Okay.
Oh boy. So all right. So let's start with the NFC. I'm gonna have to parse this out because they have all of them in one thing. But here we go. The Arizona Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury.
Cliff Kingsbury is out there at
is-
the University of Arizona picking up them college students.
So-
The guy's handsome. He's
Cliff
handsome.
Kingsbury. So let's go.
And for once, and it's actually less creepy than with Urban Meyer.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Damn,
Listen.
if he was still on this freaking list.
Oh
So yeah,
no.
Cliff Kingsbury. Oh yeah, look at that.
They had a thing of him in the draft.
Him
like
and Holly
his first
Saunders
year.
right now are official apparently from Golf Digest. Okay, Cliff.
Cliff
All right.
pulls.
Cliff. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury. He can.
Do you think Cliff Kingsbury is the closest thing to PC principal in the NFL? I've been rewatching a lot of South Park lately, but I look at him.
I
and
need
it's
to
that
see
little-
him in the sunglasses. Actually, hold on. Here he is
sweet
in
Boston
sunglasses.
Oakleys.
Here
I'm
he
just
is in-
saying.
Here he is in sunglasses right now. Actually,
I'm just saying.
here we go. Oh my God!
I'm just saying.
Just dye the hair a bit, you know.
Just have him do the little lip raise.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of muscle to him.
Yeah, there you go. So there we go. Next, for the Atlanta Falcons, Arthur Smith.
I should love him just because he was a Tennessee Titan, but let's see what he fully looks
There
like
he is.
now.
There's your coach. There's head coach Arthur Smith. All right, look a little John Candy-ish, a little bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he looks like a GameStop in play. I can't get
Are
behind
you
it.
sure? There he is with the
I'm just
Titans.
saying.
Does that help? Does that help with in the
No,
Titans?
no, because we have a daddy on the Titans.
Oh, I know
I'll
that.
I'll tell you
we'll
right
get-
now, like Mike Vrabel's a babe. Y'all figure
Well,
that
we're
out.
gonna get into that next episode because we're doing the NFC right now. We need to get to a the Super Bowl of handsomest head coaches. So, all right, so that's Arthur Smith. So that it's a no for you, dog. All right, next is Matt Rule over in Carolina.
No, I don't know if I actually know what Matt Rule looks like.
So we're about to
the
find
thing is,
out right now.
When
So-
you see stuff on game day, it's just usually them in the hoodies and swear.
So that's Matt Rule.
I feel like Matt Rule cosplays as Harper from Stranger Things. I
There
can't
he
get
is.
behind it because he looks like the actor whose name I forgot. I kind of like the blackening of the beard to avoid going all gray, but
There
then I
he's
think
all
you're kind
cleaned
of
up, huh? How about
Yeah,
him all
I think-
cleaned up a little bit now? In the suit?
because he looks too much like Rex Ryan in that suit.
All right, really? Rex
me.
Ryan? No, not to me.
Not Fat Boy Rex Ryan,
Oh,
but
okay.
like skinny. I changed my life, Buffalo Bills.
Okay. All right. Next, for the Chicago Bears,
Bears.
Matt
Is
Eberflus.
Eberflus now.
Yep,
Let's see.
Eberflus. What do you want to call it? There we go. And there he is for the. That's where he was with the Colts. This is him on the Chicago Bears. There he is.
Some weird. That hairline's fighting with the face, man. He looks like Urban Meyer's like cousin.
Okay.
He does. I'm just saying.
Alrighty. Okay, so next we've got the Dallas Cowboys. You're Mike McCarthy, huh?
No. Hey, so
Come
here,
on.
to defend Mike McCarthy, Mike
We
McCarthy,
post
I
this picture
think,
on the thing.
Mike McCarthy is the guy that you would chill with, beard or no beard, because of all the people that he knows. Because he's been around. You know, I know Aaron Rodgers. It's the same thing with the Dave Roberts mentality, how he did in baseball. Because of who you know, you want to hang out with him. Because he could be partying with Jerry Jones. And Jerry Jones, I don't care if I get banned for saying this. Jerry Jones probably has like all the grade A drugs that the U.S. officials want. So like, hey, if you're going to go, you're going to go.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, I don't think that's controversial. I think that's kind of, I don't know. I think that's pretty well accepted at this point.
Well, the problem is every time if it's not Jerry's world, then
we saw a spaceship. He was doing the drafting in 2020. So.
I just don't like Jerry Jones because I do personally believe he blackballed Colin Kaepernick and all the other players who wanted to sit down. Yeah, I'm just saying that right now.
Kaepernick did get a tryout with the Raiders, though.
Yeah, 6 years later.
But it's a token tryout.
Yeah,
you know. All right, Dan Campbell, Detroit Lions.
Oh yeah, man. Dan Campbell's like, oh, you touch my dude, you touch my girl, I'm gonna beat your ass at the thing.
Look at that, man.
He's a meathead, but sometimes we like jocks up in here.
Yeah, man. He's a meathead with a heart, man. That man is not afraid to cry in front of you.
He's Shorzy. Just saying. I finished that. That's good.
Like, if you guys saw
look at him with the hair when he was back
celebration
playing
after they won, like that just goes to show you those guys love him.
Yeah. No, he was an interim coach with the Dolphins. They loved him. Like, yeah, that man will fight for you and he'll cry for you. He's not afraid. Yeah. All right. Okay.
He writes poetry as he beats someone's ass afterwards in reflection.
Next, Matt Lefleur.
Oh, Matt Lefleur.
Green Bay.
Ironically, because of all the heat I bring out of Aaron Rodgers, Matt Lefleur is like handsome, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's. Oh, the NFL's got some handsome dudes compared to MLB's managers.
Do you think that's the reason why Aaron Rodgers originally wanted to leave? Not because Jordan or Jordan Love was there, was because Aaron Rodgers' woman was like staring at Matt Lefleur. Lefleur, let me get a piece of that.
Yeah, Matt Lefleur. Yeah, he cleans up. He's nice. All right.
You know what kills me? The man's like 6 years older than us, so it's amazing what you can do when you're in Green Bay and you get a ton of money.
You don't ruin your life going to law school. Yeah.
And there's me who bought literally like Oreo, or not Oreo, but Cookie and Cream's Pop-Tarts today coming out before the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Life's cold, man.
Next. Oh, my God. Sean McVay.
Sean McVay's super handsome, man.
What man, the NFL is
and they
just
all come
it.
from and they all come from the same coaching tree too.
Yeah.
Him, McVay, Shanahan, Lefleur, all under Sean too. And Cliff, I think. No, Cliff was different. But yeah.
Sean McVay's gotten better with age.
Oh yeah. It's that blonde hair too, because it's a little bit different. You know, he's that guy who doesn't even you remember when this is some stuff coming into it, but Mike Nolan Jr.
This is a dumb photo of him. Why did they pick? This is a bad photo. Who took this photo?
You think there's a bad photo?
There's one bad photo on the screen right now. He looks pretty goofy in this one. I don't know who took that photo, but he's I don't know, but it's a bad one. But he's got he's good. There he is. Yeah, he's got one goofy photo. I think they just had one, but whatever.
Super handsome.
Yeah, but this is Sean McVay. All right. This is a tough one. The NFC is really tough, Charles. This is going to be a really tough decision. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going before you make a decision. Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell?
Yeah. I remember Kevin O'Connell when he was still a player, man. I don't know what he looks like at like 36.
Kevin O'Connell. So let's take a look right now.
And this is the problem. Maybe I'm thinking these men are handsome because we're only in a small age gap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell's kind of handsome.
Yeah, this is another one. Dear Lord, what is going on in the NFL right now?
You know, we're just hiring baddies. That's what's happening. And then somewhere in AFC is just Andy Reid. He's like, I don't need to be handsome when I got this sexy belly.
Where are Marty Schottenheimer clones out there? Come on, guys.
Please. I think because Joe Torre was my instant ugliest guy, but I don't know my ugliest don't know who my ugliest, like, I can't think of an ugliest coach off the bat completely.
All right.
Actually, that's a lie. But we'll get to it.
We'll get to it when we get to when you make your ultimate decision in the NFL. New Orleans, Dennis Allen.
Let's see what Dennis Allen looks like now that he's been away from Oakland.
Yeah, all right. He's got.
Yeah, he looks like he holds the door open for you. But I mean, I've just seen I don't have a daddy king, so I just went through a whole phase of handsome guys in our age group. No.
Relatively speaking, compared to the other guys, he's an all right looking dude, but especially with the goatee, with the salt and pepper there. But okay, all right. Next, let's go to all right. The other Brian, not the one that Bill Belichick accidentally texted to. Brian DeBoll out in New York with the Giants.
All right, let's take a peek at this.
So there you go, Charles. There's your boy.
There's a type for every person. Not my type.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I think I would like
to find a photo of him all like, dressed up in a suit. There he is.
Brian Dabble looks like he gets sweaty just seeing a Hardee's ad.
No. Oh God, why did I laugh? All right, Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni. So let's.
I'll wait till we get recent images of him.
Let's see, Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni.
There's a type. I just feel like he's kind of a clone of some of the other guys.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's not bad looking.
Yeah,
he's got a strong chin, a strong nose.
It's the sunken eyes. Like I don't want to say this on the show, but it looks like he'll get physical. So I can't do that.
Oh, all right. Well, I just thought he looked like a generic Batman villain. Or not villain, but not a villain, but like
character.
Yeah, no, like a grunt, a grunt. Yeah, one of those guys.
We're both of the same mind.
Oh, the Batman's coming.
Especially his name's Sirianni.
Okay, this is me playing Arkham Knight for 12 hours the last 2 days. Next is Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's get back to it.
It's amazing when you have something as fugly as Mike Shanahan getting you Kyle.
Okay.
You too. Mike wasn't even that ugly when he started with the Raiders back in the day before he went to the Broncos. Kyle's ears are a little bit too big.
Yeah, especially when he wears the hat. I think the hat makes it worse. He lets the hair out. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Or puts on the headset. There you go.
Another one that's only like 7 years older.
Yeah. So.
What are we doing with our life?
Oh boy. Okay, next, Pete Carroll, Seattle. Pete Carroll's one of those guys. Listen,
on. I would party with Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say.
I'm not even gonna front.
This is a guy who knows people.
Yeah. The first thing I would ask him is, how do you get your hair to be positioned like that? Because I'm very vain with my hair.
Yeah, man, he's got good hair for his age.
Pete Carroll was probably handsome, 80 years ago when he was in his 20s.
Let me look when he was young. I've never seen a photo.
I haven't either, because the guys looked the same for 20 years.
Yeah. So actually, I think he's. No, he.
He
looks better
like
as
Jay Leno.
Yeah, he looks better older actually.
Yeah.
He looks a lot better now.
Huh. Yeah, he's looking like Jay Leno.
When he started out with there he is in the 90s with the Patriots and stuff. Yeah, he's gotten better as he's aged. There we go. Play basketball? Really? Okay. All right. So, Pete Carroll, and here we go. Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay.
Let's see.
Todd Bowles. Here we go. All right, Charles.
I mean, I feel like Todd Bowles has looked the same for 10, 15 years.
Of course.
I mean, Todd Bowles is a handsome guy. He knows how to wear a suit.
Yeah.
The dress shirts or the coaching stuff doesn't help him out.
The dark plaid suit there.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta sharpen up a little bit. Listen, us men, when we're ugly, we amp it up by clothing. Okay, we don't get Snapchat filters. So sometimes it's the tightly made suit.
And finally, the last one for the NFC, Ron Rivera.
Oh,
the one Latino, Charles.
I don't find Ron like attractive dynamically, but he'll like beat that ass, man. Ron exudes confidence to me. He would be that guy that if you're at the bar with him and you take some shots, like, listen, I beat cancer. I'm gonna go ask this girl out, and I'm gonna like, you do that, man. He's got a good head of hair too.
Yeah,
we support Ron Rivera.
Okay.
We support. He gets the honorary, like, yeah.
Yeah, he's half Puerto Rican, half Mexican.
Dangerous combo. Keep him away from me. Keep him away from me.
Okay. All right. So that's the NFC. Charles, is a very difficult decision, but who is your number one handsomest coach in the NFC?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay, really? He takes it. It's not the Super Bowl ring.
Right next to Matt. No, it's the hair, man. He's the only man. But because I think if Matt Lefleur wasn't like dark black hair.
Damn, man, there's a lot of Cliff Kingsbury. They are stacked in that conference.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
All
Not
right.
everybody looks like a testicle like it was in basketball, or not basketball,
baseball.
but in baseball.
Yeah, baseball. Yeah, baseball was like very, very difficult. It was literally Kevin Cash and Gabe Kapler. Yeah, and Joe Girardi.
Yeah, Joe Girardi know what's up, man.
Yeah. All right, Sean McVay, you are the handsomest manager or handsomest coach in the NFC. So, congratulations.
Just look at that intense look that he's giving you on the second panel on the top.
This is truly the greatest award he's ever won in his career.
And he's a bro too. He's about loyalty. He was like Matt Stafford. He's like, hey, you're dying, Detroit.
Yeah,
come over here. I'm gonna make you better.
So let's go to a word from our non-sponsors, people, places, things, concepts, what have you, that we've been enjoying over the last week. And I guess I'll start, guys. As I mentioned before the show started, I've been doing a lot of improvement of my living space. Okay, the housing market is super ridiculous. The rental market is super ridiculous. I'm kind of stuck where I'm at because it's really the best financial decision I can make right now. Mm-hmm. I'm relatively independent here, so I don't get bothered by nobody. I do this ridiculous show with these guys, and nobody bothers me. So, I just need to improve the space, and so I've made a lot of changes. There's a baker's rack in my room right now, guys, because I just wanted it and I needed the space to kind of spread out my stuff here, I've just a bunch of improvements. There's some faux shrubbery and stuff now. It looks like a Pinterest article in here, guys. It really does. So my non-sponsor goes to the thing that's hanging above my head right now, or actually helping the thing that's hanging above my head right now, and it's the mount that I put my TV on. I'm trying to find the actual name of the. Here we go. It's called Mounting Dream. So that's what we're gonna call it. And I better be careful how I type this into Google on the screen here.
Yeah, you're gonna see Mounting Dream. It's gonna be like bestiality.
I'm just gonna go to Amazon.com immediately, and we're not gonna look for Mounting Dream specifically, but Mounting Dream TV mount. They've got different varieties, different versions here. The one that I got is, I'm trying to find the one. They got some pretty different ones here, but I'm trying to find. I got mine for $28.
That's much cheaper here than you see some other ones.
Yeah, and it's one of the ones that stretches out, so I can stretch it out, move it left, move it right, move it closer, move it in towards the wall, here it is. This is the one that I've got, and tilt it a little bit downward as well. So so I'm looking right up at my TV screen. It's tilted towards my head, so I'm not like destroying my neck like I was previously. And the relatively simple installation method, just kind of find the stud in your wall, just drill right up into it. And this is why I love talking about mounting, guys. Just drill right into it. And it only needs three nails drilled into the stud in the wall, and after that, secured it. I lifted the TV onto it, and I hoped that it wouldn't fall on top of me, and it didn't. And it's been up here. It's been up for about. Let's see. I did this on Saturday. Saturday. I did this on Saturday, and it hasn't fallen down since. And it's good. It's good. I recommend their brand. They had some pretty damn good reviews on Amazon, and it works. So promo code mount me.
Okay.
Come on, I had to. Well, who wants to go? Who wants to follow that up?
I'll go. Why not?
All right.
This one's going to sound a little bit weird, and I'm sure you guys are going to
I just said mount
roll
me.
your eyes.
I was like, gotta be weird.
Yeah, we went from handsome coaches to Francisco saying "mount me." I think anything that you say is not going to touch that threshold yet.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Splitgate, everybody, get it for free.
Lickety split.
so I'm obviously, as you mentioned, I'm back on the study train. And it occurred to me, I didn't think this was possible, but I am allowed to still study at FIU.
All right. Okay.
Why would you want to traumatize yourself? I know why.
I mean, it's a public university. You can just walk in there.
Yeah, but I feel like every time I
no,
walk
but I'm
in,
allowed
it's
to
not
use
money.
the study rooms.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's what. Okay, all right.
So I want to give, it's kind of like a two-part shout out. The first one is to the law school. Because I don't know why, but I've tried studying at public libraries. I've tried studying at home. I've tried studying at Francisco's office. And I thank you, Francisco, by the way. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, but the aura of being in that school, I don't know. It just makes me want to study. I don't know why. I can't explain it. So my studying has been very much increased since I've been going to the school. So that's one. And I want to give a particular shout out to Study Room 2093.
Okie dokie. 2093. That's one of the ones in the second floor in the back.
Mm-hmm.
By the bathroom.
Damn, man.
Don't worry, you're not gonna. You won't find it online, but
yeah,
it's such a good room. It looks out onto the grass courtyard, not the rocks courtyard, the fountain courtyard, the grass courtyard. It's a big room. It could fit 8 people, but they're allowing me to use it as one person. It's got big ass wooden table, which looks very nice, as opposed to those gray drab ones. It's got a TV screen if I wanted to use it, which I don't. I just watch videos on my laptop.
there's a TV screen in there now.
My God.
For a few of them, yes.
That's what they're using tuition on.
So, too bad, Francisco. We could have done some game nights.
Really? Huh.
If
Yeah,
if
in
we were,
theory.
I would have failed law school. That's what would have happened. Shit, I don't know. I bring my Wii U every day. Sheesh.
So it's
Brought it
got
once
that.
to play Smash.
So it's
I
got
did bring
that.
my Wii U once and set it up in the
lounge.
lobby.
The lounge, I remember
the lounge,
this.
Yeah.
So it's got 3 amazing things. It's got the TV. I couldn't care less, but I don't know, but it looks cool. It's got the large wooden table. It's really big, and it's got a window. So it's it's the perfect room.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of space. I can put my feet up on the chair if I want. I'm just so relaxed in there. It's almost like a Zen feeling, and I don't know what it is, but it's I can't not study when I'm in there. So it's been kind of de-stressing in that way. But yeah, law students, don't use it right now because that's my room. If any of you are somehow watching this, that's my room during this bar prep, so you can't have it. But once I'm done using it, seriously, the 2093 is the way to go, man. I think there's an identical room on the 3rd floor as well. But I don't think it's as good as that one. I think that one is up in the grand reading room, but the window looks into the downstairs atrium, not into natural light.
Okay.
So FIU Law Library, FIU Law School, room 2093. I love you guys so much. Promo code. We could have played Smash.
Is that the promo code?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We could have done. I mean, she should have just didn't know that they put stuff into the rooms now. You know, they probably used the mounting dream to put the TVs up there. You know, who knows? It's a very good price. A little mixture of the two non-sponsors there. All right. Charles, you said you were going to refrain. You're going to defer.
No, I'm in it. I will say one thing about this too is, Andrew, I hope to God that you at least wipe down those tables with some Lysol, because there was both mounting and smashing done in those study rooms.
Oh no! Oh God!
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I will.
Oh, God!
I'm just saying.
Oh boy!
And I'm not confirming or denying if it's me at all, but I can tell you the horror stories of what I do know. I'm part of things
Dear Lord, I ate Chinese food in there, man.
Dim sum, right? Anywho, let me pause this because we'll go from that humor to something that's a little bit worse. So I had gone back and forth on it, but I know Pansy. I don't step aside, I step up, and that sometimes goes into hard things that get a little bit deeper. And I like to think sometimes with this show we actually connected people aside from being silly, and that for the few people who ever do listen, thank you, I guess. But you're connected in some way, shape, or form, and you can be connected in some way, shape, or form to human beings, people, men, women, anything in between, and animals. So you think about what man's best friend is, and the good thing about me is I have many best friends. I don't have just you guys, my other people, my other friends. I also have my pets. And Friday was not a good day for Charles. But when you talk about celebrations, you celebrate life and you celebrate death. So my dog Byron died on Friday. I will belabor and avoid how it happened. It wasn't anything terrible. 12 years old, sometimes it's time. And you think about those memories and you think about those specials, and it's kind of hokey for people to do like an in memoriam. But if TNT can do an in memoriam of Ray Liotta who passed, I can do an in memoriam of my dog at this time right now as a non-sponsor. I don't usually do people or things, right? I do items because that's the fun. But maybe you transition to your pets and what you support. For me, this is a dog that I've had since 12 years ago when he was a itty little baby. He was a hound Rottweiler mix, and he was a pain in the ass at times because I remember when he was a little baby playing around, and then they get that teething and like to rip things, and then he's fighting over. He would come to me with like a sock in his mouth and was like, "Tear this at me." I'm like, "I'm gonna tear it from you." Everybody loved him. If I had Snapchat, I send photos of it to the dogs. Friends, girlfriends, they've all loved that animal. He had like these doe piercing eyes, and he was just like rough and big, and I'd like to play around with him. And I look into the memories that I had, and the worst thing, especially as you get older, and we're in our phases of life where we're closer to mid-30s and early 30s, and you're going to start losing things that you're not accustomed to. And the saddest part about it is that you're not going to share that journey longer with said animal. But I reflect back on the little things because day one, day two, things happen. I'm like, man, I'm trying to find a particular memory. I want to get a particular memory because that's grief. That's artificialness. You want to think of all the highlights. And then I just remember all the little silly, stupid stuff I did with him, how he would bark at me because he wanted pizza, or he loved bread and would drive him crazy, or that he would fight with his brother and all this other stuff, and he would get the cat food. I'm like, what are you doing? And then like I would spank him on the butt. I wouldn't do anything. But those are the memories that you get, not this big story that you tell at the bar kind of thing with people, because everybody has that story about their animals, or there's those weird people who will like dress their animal up in like a sweater. Let them be. But we talk about non-sponsors, things that bring you joy. I've had joy for 12 years. I had joy for 12 years. And even in his death and passing, I still enjoy. We think about a lot of things, and we think about how great it was, because you're not guaranteed life. You're not guaranteed years, and life is sometimes about things that are meant to be, and also about chance encounters. I go from being in dealing with my dog to just, hey, I'm at a casino and there's chance encounters, and then I'm watching the heat break my heart, and it wasn't anything that hurt more than that, but it was something that didn't bring me as much joy as knowing that I had this time with this big sweet brute of a dog who we named him Byron after Lord Byron, and I think it was appropriate because he was a little king of his castle. So my non-sponsor, my dog, Byron, promo code, puppy. There you go.
Love you, Byron.
Yeah, rest in peace, Byron. Oh boy, yeah, this is start feeling things. Well, if it's any, I don't know, any consolation, Byron will live on forever in the archives of our show, because we often heard his barks on the show. So
yeah, that's the weird part where I'm like, oh man, who's gonna eat like the other cat food? But it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so we're on to the next part of the show. We're at an hour 16, so we go about another half hour or so before we get to the wrestling segment. And well, Andrew, let's talk hockey. Let's go.
All right.
Conference finals.
Let's do that hockey.
Let's do that hockey, right? Conference finals happening right now. It's behind you on your screen. And remember, we can always go into the Andrewverse at any point. It could sneak up on us, right? We could be visited by one of the various Andrews out there. And so whenever you feel like Andrew, you can just call it. Be like, it's time. So it's 1-1 right now between the Avs and the Oilers. The Avs just scored right now, actually. And the other conference final is the New York Rangers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that will be an interesting series. And
I sent a picture to the group chat if you wouldn't mind pulling it up.
I'll look for it while we talk about this, Andrew. Andrew, I do want to ask
Sure.
How do you feel like going up against the New York Rangers, a team that's very inspired, by the way, and with a good set of players. They are Artemi Panarin on one side. Yeah, they're coached by Gerard Gallant, trying another chance at the cup. He's one of the best coaches in the league. He truly is. The Panthers made a massive mistake firing him, and I will say that to this like every day for the rest of his career. Like it's on par with like the Marlins firing Joe Girardi as well. Like it's that bad. It was that bad, and it took until like now for the Panthers and they had to get a legendary head coach just to replace Gallant. But Gallant's gonna be his own legendary head coach, and like he's already almost there. In my opinion. But yeah, Andrew, how do you feel about going against New York? And this very formidable team.
Well,
they just took
I
down
just want
Carolina.
to say it's interesting that you brought this up earlier, Charles, about what was it? It was about the Warriors. How you were saying, these people who begrudge them because they are so successful and stuff. I was in that camp, and to some extent, I still am, especially when it comes to like Alabama, Crimson Tide, and football. But, and I'm not meaning to make this sound like I'm bragging or anything, but I didn't quite understand how fans could feel that way, like not being tired of their team being successful until the Lightning went on this run. all my life, seeing these teams, like the Pittsburgh Penguins winning twice in a row, it's like, oh, come on, let someone else win, or we need more parity. But I'm seeing the Lightning go through this, and we've gone through the Dallas Stars, who were the inspiring team, as it were. Certainly the Montreal Canadiens were inspiring. There was no one would have predicted that they would have made it to the finals. And now we're playing another inspired team within the New York Rangers. But I don't know what it is, but I just don't give a damn about those other teams. I want trophies.
That's killer instinct.
I want trophies. I want them now. I remember talking to Francisco as we were going to grab some lunch last year, roughly around this time. It's when the Lightning and the Canadiens were about to start the Stanley Cup final. Mm-hmm. And I remember telling Francisco that, part of me wants Carey Price, to get his chip.
There were a few guys. It was Carey Price. It was
Shea Weber.
Shea Weber was on that team. Yeah,
so I was like, man, I feel bad for these guys. Part of me wants them to get something, but the other more powerful part of me says, fuck them. I want another cup. So I understand that feeling now of not being satisfied. And I'm not a player, I'm just a fan. But I feel like I've become bloodthirsty in a sense.
That Morbius rush right now.
It's Morbin time.
It's Morbin time.
So
I've been going down the meme rabbit hole of the Morbius stuff right now. Morbius 2, Morbius.
If you watch it, it's gonna lead to them making the sequel. I'm telling you.
I saw like a trailer for a Morbius game for the Nintendo DS.
I mean, he is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
It's funny. One more thing about Morbius. Someone created a Twitch account that played the entire Morbius movie on repeat. They made it twice before the account was taken down. But the funny thing was the movie on its second play made it through, and just when the credits were starting to roll, that's when the channel was cut. So it makes you think that someone at Twitch was like, all right, I'm going to let them watch the end of this, or maybe they were interested in watching too. And then they decided to cut the stream, which I think
it's free publicity.
So yes. I know I don't want to sound like an ass, but I don't care about your inspirational run.
Yeah.
I want Stanley again.
Yeah, you got them. You got the Avalanche possibly like finally getting over the hump, and you're going against McKinnon and all those guys, Joe Sakic, over in the front office on that end. Like they're trying to restore the old glory of the Avs, and the same thing with the Oilers, restore the old glory of the Oilers, and with McDavid trying to get his thing too, him and Draisaitl, and heck, even Mike Smith, an inspirational story. He's an old goaltender, right?
Yeah.
So there's a few of those that are coming along the way if you guys make it past New York.
So I'll start with my take on the Eastern Conference. My take here from here on out is going to be my unbiased hockey fan take. I'll let you know when I'm going back into Lightning fan mode. All right, I'm going to jump back into Lightning mode fan for just a second here. I was afraid going into the playoffs that the Bolts were going to be tired. They've They've done 2 straight runs through the Stanley Cup. Very little break in between each season. The last few years have been crazy when it comes to the playoffs. So I thought, and I was feeling that, going into the Maple Leaf series, it's like, man, they must be tired. They're just not playing like they usually do. Through the first 5 games of the series, I was like, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull this off. I hate to admit it. I mean, in hindsight, I feel like a jerk, but honestly, I mean, I think everyone thought, even professional analysts were thinking that, there's no way, that they're just too tired. Okay, jumping back into neutral mode. They're not tired. They are playing their best hockey right now. They came into their own at the perfect time. They know what to do from the past 2 seasons. They had a bit of a weak regular season. I mean, I think unless we play the Oilers, I think we're going to go the entire playoffs as the lower seeded team. We were the 3 seed in the Atlantic Division, and we were kind of lowish in the general standings. But I don't know what happened, but after Game 6, Vasilevsky, when he lost Game 5, whatever happened, it flipped a switch in him and the team, because they've won 6 straight games since then, and they've given up, I think, 5 goals.
Yeah, the Panthers barely scored. In fact, you guys beat us by shutting us out in the only game that the Panthers were ever shut out all season long was their final one.
And fun fact, the last time you guys were shut out was Game 6 of last year's playoffs against us.
It's not a fun fact when it's like that, Fun fact. Fun for you.
Someone's a sadist just getting off on this. So
the Lightning are playing their best hockey right now. They are playing like the Lightning. That's scary for whoever you are. And the fact that the Lightning did that without Braden Point in the Florida series is crazy. Braden Point, I mean, the dude just got I think a $9.5 million per year contract after last postseason, and he is worth every dollar. He plays the so-called bumper position during our power play, which if you think of the power play almost like an X, you have Stamkos and Kucherov on the wings, low down at the half boards. You have the 2 defensemen up at the D line, and then you have Braden Point playing the bumper position, which is basically the guy standing in front of the net deflecting shots and gets rebounds and stuffs them in. That's his bread and butter, and we didn't have that. We had to sub in Corey Perry, who did an amazing job, by the way. He's tied for the team lead of goals with 5 through the playoffs, which I think is a testament to the team being just very versatile and deep. Kucherov is doing Kucherov things. Hedman is doing Hedman things. Stamkos is doing Stamkos things. Nick Paul came out of nowhere. He was brought in at the trade deadline, supposedly as a rental, but there's a good chance that we may try to sign him long term, because he's been invaluable, especially considering that we've been without Braden Point. He's been chewing up ice time. He scored 2 goals in the Game 7 of the Toronto series, and he's just been all over the place making plays. So there's not really a weakness with this team. And I haven't even mentioned Andrei Vasilevsky. Like I said, after Game 5, he's just been unbeatable, basically. And I mentioned 3 goals given up. One of the goals that Vasilevsky gave up in the Florida series was on the power play, which I kind of generally don't count those. And actually, I don't think that counts against them in their goals against average. And that was it was just a bad rebound that got stuffed in right from the slot. But Vasilevsky he's being Vasilevsky. To the point that the guy is 27. He's been in the league for 7 years now, maybe a little bit longer. People are already saying that he's on the Mount Rushmore of goaltenders. It's crazy. I think I mentioned that last week.
Yeah, we did a whole thing about him. Yeah. So
Tampa is formidable, to say the least. The Rangers, honestly, when I was hoping that we would play the Hurricanes, and I'll explain why. Igor Shesterkin.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about Russian goaltenders, but for whatever reason, Russian goaltenders are just playing out of their freaking minds this postseason. The New York Rangers, they came back from a 3-1 deficit against the Penguins to win their series in 7. They dragged out a series against Carolina to 7 and absolutely obliterated Carolina last night in Game 7. And Shesterkin, I mean, he does give up goals, but he's very tough to beat as well. And then, as you alluded to, you've got Artemi Panarin. Who else? Mika Zibanejad, Alexei Lafreniere. You've got a lot of very good players on the Rangers.
So I've got on the big screen here. We've got the comparison. I mean, it's not that big of a difference between the two. The Rangers have home ice in this series, by the way. So they'll be starting at Madison Square Garden tomorrow, and
MSG has such a home ice advantage. It's crazy.
And you'll have to deal with the Snowbirds in Tampa as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that will also be a new factor for you guys, because you haven't really faced that, to be honest. So now we've got, as far as goals, the last 5 games, Zibanejad has been scoring for the Rangers. He's got 4. Corey Perry's been doing a good job. I thought, I was like surprised Corey Perry's still playing, and he's with Tampa, and he's had 3 goals, assists. Fox for the Rangers with 6, Kucherov with 5. He's also got 7 points in the last 5 games, Kucherov, while Fox has had 8, and Ryan McDonough and Lindgren for the Rangers both ±6 right now. I mean, the goalie comparison right now between Vasilevsky and Shesterkin, it's a .932 save percentage for Vasi versus a .928. 2.2 goals against, 2.68 goals against. So that it's not that big of a difference between the two.
I mean, I will say that Vasilevsky's numbers are a bit skewed because it's taking into account the few weak games that he had in the Toronto series.
Yeah,
like I mentioned,
and the Panthers sucked. So
the past few games, he's just been almost unbeatable.
And then we've got power play percentage. The Rangers are the second best power play in this postseason, at 32.5% right now, and so they have a power play that actually works. So that's another thing you guys have to contend with. Like, the Rangers are actually doing things, so that's we'll see whether the rust factor comes in as well, because the Lightning have been 4 games and then days off since, which might help for them with regards to having a bit of a break. But the Rangers are hot right now. They had a series against Carolina, which was a comparable team, and the Rangers have a working power play. The penalty kill, the Lightning have the third best penalty kill, so that helps out with that. Face-off percentage 45-41, Lightning on that one. Goals for. That's on the Rangers right now, and goals against per game played. It's on the Lightning right now with Vasilevsky behind net. So we'll see. A good power play versus a good penalty kill, and then I don't know.
It's going to be very evenly matched.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are gonna waltz through this one like the Panthers. Like the Rangers are gonna definitely bring it. So I can see this one. This one could go 7.
The Rangers don't have that longevity of postseason experience like the Lightning do.
But
they have
guys on their roster that Zibanejad has been on the team. I think he was on the team that was last in the Stanley Cup Finals for the Rangers.
Right, but but they've gone through 2 7-game series. That builds a lot of character. I think part of it is going to come down to that rust versus rest, so-called, for the Lightning.
Maybe for game 1 or at least.
Is 9 days too much?
Yeah.
Rest. The advantage is it's given a few of our guys, Brandon Hagel, what's his name?
You always take time for healing, man. Our whole thing about Heat was long seasons, and why, damn you, Kyle Lowry had to play in games 3 and 4.
It gives Brandon Hagel a chance to rest and recuperate. It gives Sergachev a chance to rest and recuperate. They were both dealing with some injuries caused by blocks. I think the Lightning had like 77 blocks in the Florida series.
Yeah, the Lightning ate up any sort of shots or lanes that the Panthers had by just blocking everything, and that was a huge key difference. That a lot of people noted that the Panthers weren't doing the same against Tampa in the sense. So the Lightning made up for because the Panthers 5-on-5 were all right. It was just the power play that sucked. But the Lightning just threw their bodies out at everything.
So that's that's the part of the turn on the playoff mode for them, because smartly they don't block all the time during the regular season, because that's keep yourself healthy. But throw your body in front of things during the playoffs. That's when it matters. I'm inclined to think that the Lightning will win the series. I hope I'm not jinxing it. I just think the fact that the Rangers have done 2 straight 7-game series, I think is going to come back and hurt them at some point, physically and emotionally. That's one day. They've essentially played 2 continuous series, if you think about it, because each game is game, day off, game, day off, game, day off. And then when you go through a 7-game series, you get 1 day off between games. So essentially, they've been playing for a whole month straight. I wouldn't discount the possibility that they can just use that to their advantage and just come out and ball or puck. So we'll see about that. Kind of referencing the picture that I gave up on the screen.
Well,
Colorado's 2-1.
Yeah, that's why I was going to mention the other series, which was the Avs. The Avs are up 2-1. Nathan McKinnon just scored on a fantastic fantastic goal. I mean, he is super good. I mean,
That series is going to be so fun to watch.
Yeah.
If you could pull up that picture again.
I had it. Well, I had it up for a
home.
long time, but it was
So I
basically
want to
a
explain
ton
to the
of.
folks at home what that means.
Well, it's the different series. Yeah.
Darcy Kemper for the Avalanche and Mike Smith for the Oilers have been sieves, basically. They are the anti-Vasilevsky and Shesterkin. The teams are relying on offense to win games, not defense.
Maybe Mike Smith can channel some Grant Fuhrer, just be like, I just need to stop.
Exactly.
I just need to stop one more than the other guys. He just needs to make the right stops. That's it.
Exactly. So that one, in contrast to the Lightning Ranger series, where I see that one being a lot of 1-2 goal games, probably not exceeding 5 goals combined for the games. There's going to be a bunch of offensive firepower in the Western Conference Final. You've got Connor McDavid, who's playing out of his mind, to the point that even the great one, Wayne Gretzky, is running out of things to say about it. You've got Connor McDavid, you've got Leon Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Like, that team is stacked. And then you've got the Avalanche. You've got Nathan McKinnon. You've got who else is on that team?
Gabriel Landeskog?
Landeskog, yep. Both of those teams just
Nazem Kadri we talked about.
Yep. Those guys are just chock full of these incredible players, offensive superstars. So if you like goals, watch that one. If you like defensive showdowns, watch the Eastern
amazing
Conference.
Goaltenders. Yeah.
I mean, I rarely watch other series, with the exception of like a clinching game in the playoffs, unless my team is involved, obviously. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on that series just to see how that one goes, because it's already 3 combined goals and they're not even out of the first period yet.
Evander Kane got a goal, so he's already ready to pay off those gambling debts. So, I mean,
actually, before we move on, I just want to say this was a fantastic chirp.
Yeah.
Someone was chirping Kane.
Yep.
And said, "Do you want some money? Do you need some money?"
In the last series, again between him and the Flames. Yeah.
I'm just saying, Francisco, I don't know how far you went in the season, but I think Andrew needs to watch Shoresy. It's pure hockey.
Yeah, it's all about the love for hockey, but at its most basic level, like in Canada, that sort of it really shows you like the level of love for the game that Canadians have. Like, which is, I understand the sentiments against the Sunbelt teams. We don't have that. Like, for them, it is a religion. It really is a religion. But yeah, I do recommend him for that.
I finished the season last night.
I haven't finished it yet, so you're ahead of me. So we're at an hour and 44 minutes.
Wow, we're keeping good time today.
So
basketball was non-existent.
Well, we did talk about basketball. We did. We went early into that series, and basically like, all right, the Warriors are going to win. And so I guess we can just head on over to the cage. We're at 144. We should be good.
Which might be short to begin with, and we'll talk about it. Everybody, welcome to your weekly Truplex, The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer: wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It's a stage fight. It's a song and dance about men and women trying to beat the holy hell out of each other. Ha ha ha! Charles, did you do a pun? Yes, that's called For foreshadowing, kids, I had to think for a second. I had my education in Florida. You got to forgive me. Every now and then my brain goes.
At least
But
it
was
wasn't in Polk County.
it was in Polk County. That's why I studied. Because in Polk County, you say foreskin instead of foreshadowing.
You learned about Robert E. Lee a lot for sure.
Exactly. It's about, we're just going to do it in a southern twang. It's about men and women being the whole the hell out of each other, trying to establish some legacies, get some championships in there, and then also have a good old slobberknocker. Now we're going to bring back to my normal voice. So we're going to kind of minimize the
I just
cage
want
a
to
little bit
say,
today.
I do want to say this: the complete contrast of you being from New York and going to Polk County, Florida.
So the backstory to that was originally we were supposed to go to Tampa, and I would have been much like Andrew when we moved down. But then my father's job, where we came down to, reassigned him to Polk County, and Polk County from Hillsborough County is about a good hour and a half, depending if you're going east to west. So that's just the way the cookie crumbled, and unfortunately for me, I ended up going there for like 4 years of my life and meeting people I don't need to meet. Yes.
Sorry, briefly interrupt. Sorry, it made me think about something from my home county of Osceola. Instead of doing President's Day off, they have something called Rodeo Day.
Interesting.
I'll explain more after the show.
Yeah.
That could have been Andrewverse.
I just have Andrew versus Andrew on a rodeo day.
This bashing of Polk County is brought to you by Splitgate, everybody.
Now we know what other Andrew verse is. He's coming in on Guess jeans, very tight blues or Levi's with a cowboy hat. His tie that he's going to wear to court is not going to be a normal tie. It's going to be a bolero tie.
I was born in Oklahoma, guys.
I get
you cry at the end of Tombstone each time.
I've actually not seen Tombstone.
Oh my God, what? It's so good.
Hey, this is coming from the guy that didn't see Hercules until a few months ago. So.
That too. At least we know who played the Gladiator. Hercules. So, anywho, there was we'll talk about AEW and we'll talk about WWE. The other ones we don't have to care about because Double or Nothing was over the weekend. I'm very glad I did not pay for it because where was I Sunday night? At a casino, dealing with life, chance encounters, 5 margaritas, and the heat just breaking my heart. It was like a 5-hour pay-per-view, man. The main event didn't happen until like 12:41. Why? Because the rumor mill was that Tony Khan was purposely adding in matches in order to avoid going against the Heat and the Celtics. So, that's how good we are as the Heat, that we put the fear of ratings.
Really?
Yeah. Because, okay, so how much do you think is the average match card to a pay-per-view? Pay-per-view should really be between 3.5 hours. There was 12 matches on the card. That's an ass load. And it started at 7 for the pre-show, which they call the buy-in, which is ironic that the pay-per-view was Double or Nothing, and I was at the Hard Rock. But it started at 7 for the pre-show, and it ended, like, the main event was at like 12:41 at night when it ended.
Dear Lord.
That's a lot of wrestling. That's the reason. Like, I remember there was a WrestleMania.
How long does a normal pay-per-view last? Like,
it should
3
really
hours?
be between 3 hours, man.
Okay.
3.5 hours is what you'll
like
take.
Any sporting event, right? Yeah, that should be 3
yeah,
hours.
and most matches I'll take. Boxing's the only one where you're okay with long pay-per-views because why? You're not getting just one match on the card. You're getting multiple matches, and if they go the distance, which is the 12 rounds, then okay. Sometimes they end early on knockouts. But they did Double or Nothing, and I heard mixed things. Obviously, I didn't order it. I was going back and forth on, because originally I wasn't supposed to go to Hard Rock on Sunday. It was supposed to be Saturday, but the universe played its hand for my benefit, I think, in order to put us there on Sunday. So regardless, we're there, and I watched some of the highlights on YouTube, but there was some controversy because I don't know if I mentioned it, but MJF, and we like MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, was having some beef with Tony Khan, his boss, and you guys can follow us on Twitter, Tony Khan, Charles the True, Dan Frijoles, FJOJR, Sports Goofs. But the issue was that MJF no-showed a meet and greet, and there was some contract disputes that had been going on, and he was good friends with Senor Cody Rhodes. So the rumor mill was just like, oh, maybe he's just waiting to bail. And he makes references in his promos and his social media about 2024 is when his contract would end. But he no-showed a meet and greet. And some people are like, oh, it's a work for his character. No, you wouldn't do that because there's people who are willing to pay to go see everybody. So he was no-show. There was rumors that he booked a flight out of Nevada, and he was going to be gone. But he shows up. He's in the first match of that card, and he ends up getting squashed by Wardlow. And I'm kind of glad I didn't order it because I was invested in that feud. And it's not like it was going to be a wrestling clinic because of how you had to make Wardlow into this big dominant monster. But like MJF ended up eating like 10 power bombs, no shit, and then lost. But the rest of the cards, I don't remember what I did my predictions on, but I was right about a few things. So let's play this thing. Adam Cole, Samoa Joe in the Owen Hart Cup Finals. Adam Cole won. Baby. Predicted that. Britt Baker, his girlfriend or fiance, she won the women's equivalent of it for the women's Owens Hart Cup Finals. So now you have that happening, and I think they're going to team up against Sammy and Ty Conti, which is bad for business. Don't do it, Tony Khan. The Hardys versus Young Bucks. There were some complaints about because Jeff Hardy apparently is beat the hell up. And he was looking slow in the match and everything like that, which is fine because Jeff will die for us. The man is a gift, and he just puts his life on the lines. But it was not well reviewed. There's a lot of botches, which is bad. I heard good things about the AEW Tag Team Championship match, which was a triple threat of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Jurassic Express against Team Taz and Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. There's that dyslexia kick again. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus won. I was kind of surprised. I thought they should have done on Team Taz, considering the fact that I found that Jurassic Express's run has been very ass, I think is the adult word I'll say. But regardless, I don't book things. What can I say? It's not my line of business. You had House of Black versus Death Triangle in a trios match. Julie Hart finally turned evil or made her heel turn after like 7 months of doing this stuff. So she interfered. Jericho Appreciation Society versus Blackpool Combat Club with other people, LAX. I heard it was a good match. I didn't watch it. Appreciation Society. That's a mouthful to say. Come on, I can barely say my own name, Tony Khan. So you're gonna make me say Jericho Appreciation Society and Black Hole Combat Club, and I don't want to go on a show and say JAS versus BCC or BBC because God forbid would anybody gonna think that means Big Black, So we'd want to avoid that.
Well then,
Yeah, but Blackpool Combat Club BPCC, no, because then people could think Black Peanut. Moving on. In between the AEW World's Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. Thunder Rosa won. ABS champion. ABS. Man, I'm not focused. AEW's TBS Championship. You see the other issue too. There's too many titles here. TBS Championship. Jay Cargill versus Anna Jay. I'm very happy about this match. Not so much about who is the winner and who is the loser, but Malcolm Bivens, or formerly known as Malcolm Bivens, but Stokely Halfworth, came in. He interfered. Yay! I love Stokely. He cracks me up. I follow him on social media, Stokely Hathaway. He's hysterical to me. I'm glad he had been released and he's now doing what he wants to do. I'll watch AEW more. And I do watch it for a good amount. NXT is going on right now, but I have no interest in the build, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then you had the main event, and this was the tough one of CM Punk versus Adam Hangman Page for the AEW World Championship. And it was one of those things of what you have to ask yourself, is it best to have a homegrown talent beat over a former WWE guy, not just a former WWE guy, but a revered WWE guy for the indie fan bases who want an alternative to what Vince McMahon was stuffing down their mouth? Or do you strike the iron while it's hot and say, hey, Hangman, sometimes when you're the babyface, it's always better to chase after a title as opposed to be given the title? And Hangman had his opportunities to retain against some great bouts against Daniel Bryan, who was an old WWE established lore. Mind you, Bryan and Punk have been before WWE. When I say dudes are pre-WWE, they're pre-WWE when they're making their own. For Bryan Danielson, not Daniel Bryan happens. But it was a tough one. It ended up ending where Hangman had the title in his hands. He was going to use it, and he chose not to, and he wasted time, and he went to go do his buckshot lariat, and they got caught up in the GTS. And then CM Punk won, and he is your new champion. I like it and then I hate it. I thought the heel turn should have happened definitively because I do think this is a feud that continues. One of the things that invested me about the storyline was Hangman speaking to the crowd and saying before the match happened on a couple of Dynamites, I'm saving AEW from CM Punk. CM Punk is conniving. He's a liar. He only cares for himself. I'm going to be making sure that the infection is cleared and cut out. And then now he lost. So if you're going to do a gradual heel turn, I get it, but would have it made more sense for him to think about it and then try to make an attempt to hit him with the title, and then comes the win for CM Punk? I don't know, but it should be interesting. Here's the other hard part too. Now that MJF has kind of played his hand a little bit, he's going to be written off TV for a while. I don't know how Tony Khan's going to feel if he's comfortable to put that title on MJF, because I always thought it was supposed to be CM Punk who wins it, and then MJF goes off and takes off CM Punk, because whoever beats Punk has to become a made man. It's the same equivalent of how they're going to do Roman, who's had the belt for like 600 days now. Whoever beats you is going to be the made man for sure.
That's going to be like the new it guy, right?
Yeah. It's going to be, you talk about pillars, and you can't say Hangman will be bad without a title because he was doing all things. Remember, he was an AEW tag team champion. He was put on some good feuds. He helped dethrone Kenny. What it does do is help with a little bit of the predictability of the storyline, because the minute Kenny Omega won the AEW championship, you knew it was going to be Hangman who takes it. So all the other guys that came in between, it was like, meh. But with Punk, first off, there's a couple matches I need to happen. I need CM Punk versus Bryan Danielson. I need CM Punk versus Jon Moxley. Please just let that all happen. Give me what I want. Let that history come in. CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, part like 3, because they've wrestled before and they've had 5-star matches back in Ring of Honor days. Give me what I need. But you have to ask yourself, is it good for business where, let me name your list of the AEW champions. You had Jericho, who was the inaugural one. He's a WWE guy. Granted, I know Jericho did WCW, but for intents and purposes, work with me here. WWE guy. Then who beat him? Moxley, WWE guy. Then who beat him? Kenny Omega, New Japan guy. Not WWE, but still something that's known, not necessarily homegrown, even though he has a position role. And then you have Hangman, who is the one who does it. And instead of dropping the title as to another homegrown guy like Darby Allin, or I wouldn't say Ricky Starks is fully a homegrown guy. He did some stuff with NWA, but it goes to CM Punk, another guy who was out of the wrestling ring for like 6 years, 7 years, and had about a collective half a year to really build back his austere and his whole image. And now he's their champion again. Is it a desperation play? Is it that we're giving what the people want? And here's the interesting part. I do believe you do have to give the fan base what they want. But I think that if you were the one telling the stories and taking control of the product, you have to also push who you think is the best person to do so. And sometimes that's going against what the crowd wants you to do. And that's how Vince McMahon, even though he has declining ratings, is always able to make a billion-dollar business, because there's plenty of dudes who've held that championship belts that should not have held those titles. Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, a few other guys. But I like Jack Swagger or Jake Hager now in AEW. It's just some guys don't have the look of the image. Granted, Vince is a different kind of thing, whereas AEW is more about the wrestlers and the storytelling. Vince is more about merch and character, as you guys know from hearing me droll about this for almost 4 years. But it'll be interesting to see what they do there. What I can tell you is that AEW needs a lot of help with their mid-card stuff. The TNT Championship is all for shit right now. Scorpio Sky is your TNT champion. He had a triple threat match, or not triple threat match, but a trios mixed gender tag match of him, Ethan Page, and Paige Van Sant. Yeah, that Paige Van Sant who did MMA against Ty Conti, Sammy Guevara, and Frankie Kazarian. You should really, I always felt you should have your titles being defended on shows instead of not being used, because then it devalues itself. Because if you have like 8 titles and one of them's not being defended, even though that champion is in the match, what are we doing here? Right? I don't know. But we'll see where this direction goes. I don't think Paige and Punk are done yet. I think it'll kind of lead you a little bit. I don't think it gets you to All Out, which is their next pay-per-view in September, but I think it gets you to a Dynamite special that will happen eventually. WWE news. This is what I hate, guys, sometimes about having a show that's on like a Tuesday, because they have Hell in a Cell this weekend. And they also have, I believe, NXT takeover. I think it's in your house. So now let me just get everything done correctly so I'm not wrong. So NXT in your house is this weekend, and we're going to do this predictions and everything. I know what's happening in NXT right now. It has lost a lot of steam and momentum for Charles to care about. The
Yeah,
card's probably
you
not
haven't mentioned them
finalized.
much in a while.
It's because we're in the transition change of, quality. Vince is trying to build his characters. I get it. There's some matches I'm sure it's good. And ironically, like, was this a Saturday? Yeah. So no, it's on Saturday. So they're gonna have Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes. That should be great, to be honest with you. Both are talents. Cameron Grimes kind of wins that. I don't imagine Hayes is going to win. I think he just moves up and challenges. I almost said Braun Steiner, but Braun Breaker for the title. You'll have Pretty Deadly, who's Kit Wilson, Elton Prince. They were Pretty Deadly in NXT UK. They were tag champions there. I don't mention them much because NXT UK is kind of
I
like,
didn't realize there was a UK division.
it did have my match of the year last year,
okay.
which was Walter and Ilya Dragunov. Part 2, which was excellent. That was on an NXT Takeover pay-per-view. However, it's still part of that breed. You have Braun Breaker versus Joe Gacy, which they have a dumb thing which says if Breaker is disqualified, he will lose a championship. I am completely against this whole feud that's been going on. I like Joe Gacy for what it's worth. They've done some weird positions, but I don't think you've made Breaker look as strong or competent as a champion. You already had him lose the title once to Dolph Ziggler and then not win it back at that takeover that they had before Mania in April, and then he won it back on a Raw. And then the whole thing is Joe Gacy just kidnapped Rick Steiner, his dad, part of the Steiner Bros. He's the nephew to Big Papa Scott Steiner, the math guy that I send you guys every now and then YouTube of. So it's like, whatever. That's gonna be your main event. I don't know if that's main event quality. Talents. I'm being honest, man. Just as Andre 3000 said, I'm just being honest. Oh. NXT Women's Breakout Tournament Finals, Tiffany Stratton versus Roxana Perez, formerly known as Roxy in Ring of Honor. She was the women's first inaugural champion in Ring of Honor. I expect Roxy to win. They have the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, Toxic Attraction versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, who used to be Casey Catanzaro, but Vince changed it. I'm okay with Vince changing names to a degree, but if you make it weird where Casey Catanzaro, okay, maybe the last name is kind of long, so you make it short because you got to think merchandise and stuff like that, so you call it a Casey Cat or whatever. But Katana Chance, I'm like, what the fuck? That's like me clicking Katana on random in Mortal Kombat. It just makes no sense. And then you have Wendy Chu versus Mandy Rose, and we love Wendy Chu. She cracks me. We love Mandy Rose, but I think Mandy Rose retains. Not excited for it. Not crazy about it. It doesn't tickle my insides a little bit the way that other cards have. So would I watch it? It's Saturday. If I ain't got nothing to do, it's on Peacock. Sure, I can just watch the matches I want to see. That's the luxury of owning Peacock. I just watch it in between. Because Sunday is Hell in a Cell. So you guys want to hear something funny? This Sunday when Hell in a Cell's being hold on, that's my 5-year anniversary of being employed in my organization. So I'm like, is this the universe setting that stuff up? I feel compelled, I have to watch it, but or maybe it's a omen. I don't know what to tell you. This is another pay-per-view where I'm not feeling it for kind of one reason. There's no Roman Reigns on my pay-per-view. He is now your undisputed Universal Champion.
Cody Rhodes headlining it on the freaking Twitter.
I love Cody. I'm kind of done with him and Seth. They have been feuding since WrestleMania. The first WrestleMania match was good. I didn't actually think their match.
Hold on, Charles. Your mic is going all over the place.
Oh, it's because I was finagling with it.
Oh, okay.
The second match at Backlash that they had was not just that. It was just average. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't there. But there might be stuff worth watching for it. But the problem is there's only one match at the moment announced inside of Hell in a Cell. I do have a prediction that there will be a second one in Hell in a Cell. But if you have Hell in a Cell and it's only one cage being utilized, that's a problem. What's the whole point of it, right? Because you did that in the Saudi pay-per-view, the Crown Jewel, when you said, hey, it's a Hell in a Cell match against this guy with Edge and Seth. Fine. I need at least 2 matches. So cards and predictions going on here. We have Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Cody wins again. And that's what kind of bothers me a little bit is that I have no doubt that Cody's going to win. So it kind of suspends disbelief to a degree. But then I'm like, no, because you can't have a blood feud match end with Seth winning. What happens is Seth will lose. Cody will go on to feud with My belief is Kevin Owens. I don't know where Seth goes, to be honest with you. That's an interesting thing. Let's see what they do there. The Raw Women's Championship match should be excellent. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Becky Lynch. Good storytelling. All bring back in. We roped in Asuka again, who kind of beats Becky's ass every now and then. Her and Bianca is an interesting setup that they haven't had any solo feuds, so I'm looking forward to that. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel has been a hysterical storyline, and I've touched on it lightly, but I'll give it to you within like 3 sentences. Ezekiel used to be Elias. He hasn't been seen in like a year and a half. He comes back repackaged as Ezekiel, shaved a face and everything like that. And Kevin was like, Elias? And Ezekiel's like, no, I'm not Elias. That's my brother. I'm Ezekiel. And Kevin Owens, much how he did with the Steve Austin feud, has been carrying this through comedy and good chops, and it has been hysterical. Predictions wise, I actually have Ezekiel winning it. I think Vince is going to shoot this to the moon. I think he's going to have him take that belt off of Austin Theory, the U.S. title, and Kevin Owens is going to be losing his mind, and that's how he gets Cody. It's been enjoyable. I'll take that. Bobby Lashley versus almost MVP in a handicap match. Pass. Not the right way to use my man meat that is Bobby Lashley, but Bobby wins. You have the Edge AJ Styles feud continuing now at Hell in a Cell, but it's going to be a trios multi-gender match. Sounds familiar because that's what happened last week over the weekend. But Liv Morgan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles versus Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, and Edge, because Edge has this new stable called Judgment Day. They win it again. It's unfortunate because I really had this great hopes and potential for Edge and AJ. And then what happens is Vince has to force a stable to make us love it. And you can't make a stable and just have them lose all the time, because then they're not good anymore. So to make a stable good, you have to have them feud with another stable. Case in point, think D-Generation X versus the Nation of Domination. Rock, Triple H, Farouk, D'Lo Brown, X-Pac, New Age Outlaws, Mark Henry, all this stuff. Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Could be a good match, could not be a good match. Theory, really, this is giving him a chance to make something happen here. Kind of showcase his talent, because he did help bring up that Pat McAfee match at Mania, which was thoroughly enjoyable. And then the match that hasn't been announced, but I'm sure is going to be announced on Friday, because, there's Friday Night SmackDown. The Usos, who are now your undisputed tag team championships. Oh, yeah, that's right. That happened on Friday. They did the combined match between them and RK Bro. So now they both hold the SmackDown and the Raw tag team championships, versus Riddle and Shinsuke Nakamura, because Riddle's part of RK Bro, but Randy's injured, and Shinsuke Nakamura has beef because the Usos and Roman have been effing up his life a little bit. So if that's in a Hell in a Cell, your boy is about it. That could be very interesting. But I don't know if it's a card I necessarily want to watch, but it's Sunday. I'm not going to watch the finals. Maybe I'll watch in between. This does bring up one question that we'll touch on next week, and this is indicative of what happens at Hell in a Cell. Are we ending the brand split with all these unified titles, or are we just making one unified title and people going to different shows? Because you can't say the brand split's dead if you just have the champion going to different shows, right? You say the brand split's dead if you have Raw people going on SmackDown all the time and SmackDown people going on Raw all the time. Interesting to know. And there's no update on the Sasha Banks Naomi thing yet, but you will know when that happens, because I'll drop that pipe bomb. That's a CM Punk thing. Sorry, you guys didn't get it. And my foreshadowing thing I says wrestling about making other people's life living hell in a cell. Haha, Charles, you're so funny. You're so whimsical. I know. That's all I got for you, the Cage, this week, guys.
All right.
I don't know what on earth you said in that last part, but
I don't know. Sometimes I just say things. It's like Michael Scott. I just say things and ropes and ropes and ropes.
Well, whatever the heck that was, it was brought to you by Postal, everybody. Get it on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The game that was so bad that they redid it just to get everybody's love.
Yeah, they redid it. So, okay, guys. Well, we discussed many things. We discussed tennis. Yeah, we discussed, football in a sense. In a sense, we did talk about football. And basketball, hockey. We didn't talk about baseball, but baseball is happening. It'll happen.
Go Yankees.
Yeah, well, me and Charles will probably be more focused on baseball coming out here, while Andrew and his Lightning try and go for a third straight Stanley Cup. And yeah, well, we'll see what happens next week. Next week we'll get to the AFC coaches. That'll be fun, and some more of whatever this is, and we'll hopefully go into the Andrewverse. Okay. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
good night.
Take care.